Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Enigma of Sépia video. Now, in this video, we'll be talking about the best teams and the meta units that you can use on every lineup, and we're gonna play some units. I'm gonna show you 3 teams that are now super meta. Everybody are playing. Now, these are the only lineups that you can play, but these are the lineups that will destroy any other lineup that is not synergized well with each other. Even debuff teams, we have a lot of buffing teams, a lot of debuff teams that you can pick from here and there. They're still not competing with these top 3 teams. These are the top 3 teams that dominated Arena, that won the tournament in the game right now. Especially, I'll be talking and shout out and big thank you to everybody that helped me out with this one, especially the winners that gave me these teams that dominated the regions. Absolutely fantastic. Now we're gonna talk about the best team right now. As a team, if you start the game and you build these teams or these characters, will help you from early game and late game to shift to other metas and other units. But these teams are consistent, and this is the best team actually that we are running, and it's the meta team actually. Okay, so we're gonna talk about it. First of all, the best buffer almost in the game, because it's easy to get, early access, does a lot of damages, can stun, can buff, can debuff. Really a great solid unit, which is Little Rasi, or Naruto if you want to say. I'll be talking about the game in their specific names. I'm not gonna talk about different animes. So Little Rasi, absolutely beautiful unit. She can stun, she can debuff, and she can buff. The most important thing is she can buff your team. She's versatile. You don't need to play her with anybody with joint attack with her, but if you do that, that's a plus, because the most important thing about her is she buffs and she has high damages for an SR character, which is absolutely nice. Now we're pairing her up because the game will give you a lot of Sylphira. So we pair her up with Sylphira, which is really a good combo. Plus they have a joint attack with each other, which will help them deal a lot of damages. Plus, the cool thing about Sylphira, why she's early game so good, it will help you with progression in PvE so much. We're talking about PvE now. The other 3 last lineups are more towards PvP, but yet usable in PvE. So we're gonna talk about PvE first. So in PvE, what does Sylphira do? If she does an ultimate and kill a unit, she will do another ultimate and kill another unit, or try to kill another unit. And we do the joint attack. So first ultimate, she's gonna do it with Little Rasi, and she's gonna kill a unit, and then we'll do the ultimate again and kill another unit, or at least drop them low, which is really nice. It will help you progress so fast, especially in the void, especially in your storyline, which is really good, and you will accumulate more points to get the more rewards. You know, as we all know, the game is super rewarding. You want to go and maximize so quick so you can get all of these rewards, and this is what we can do with them. Now, the best unit in the entire game. This is the best unit in the entire game. As normal spender, free to play, or whale, you can go and build them up. This is absolutely the most busted unit in the game. I'm gonna do a tier list next. I'm just waiting for a little bit of help from different players in our community so we can take the last verdict on everything, which is Giselle. Now Giselle is absolutely busted on her own. Now the cool thing about her, one thing that makes her the most busted unit, is whenever a unit dies on your lineup, she gets more attack, more crit rates, she dishes more damages, which is really huge. Plus, you're gonna pair her up with the most toxic unit in the entire game, which is Morgana. Absolutely beautiful. Now these 4 units, you can say these are the best team. You can play 2 other units with them, okay? But we're gonna pair them up with 2 other busted units that work together with each other, and I'm gonna state what you can replace and put with the meta units. I'm gonna put the meta units here. You can take whoever you want from these top units, remove them down, and put somebody else up depending on your playstyle and what units that you love to build. Now this is not a must build. Like if you don't like Naruto, or you don't like, let's say, Gilgamesh, you don't want to play them actually because these anime, you hate them or something, it's up to you. But we're talking about what are the best units for you in the game right now, and what's the meta is, and how we're playing it. So basically, they join attack together. Giselle is absolutely a powerhouse, a monster. You build her on a lifesteal set, you build her on attack set, you build her maybe on revive or on crit damage, maybe on attack, depending on you. Now the sets, what I'm talking about is the Cabal 3 mainly, and the Edict, if you can go and pick one of them and you put them on yourself. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do when I'm gonna be talking about this. And it's the scrolls also. The enchantment on the scrolls will help you a lot. Sometimes they have defense penetration, revivability, lifesteal, etc, etc. So when I talk about that, imagine it's from the Cabal tree, and it's from the little crystals that you get also, because there's 3 ways for you to get buffs and to get extra stats, and these 3 ways This is what I'll be talking about in the game, and I'll be telling you, you need to build on speed, on attack, on crit rate. There where you will get them. So it's the Cabal tree, it's the other one, which is the talent tree that opens with the orbs that you put in, and the last one is the scrolls. These are the ones that you manipulate, and I think in the guild also, when you upgrade the tree in the guild for attackers, mages, or stuff like that, also you're gonna get these stats as basic stats with crit rate, HP, attack, defense, yada yada. So we'll be talking about that, so I'll make it clear right now so we can go through the video really quick. I don't want to take a long of time. This is the second recording. I recorded the first one, it was 2 hours. I was like, no, it won't be like that. So Morgana, what does Morgana do? She's a great unit. She buffs herself, she debuffs the enemy, plus she does assist. So she can go and attack every time your units attack, which is really great. She joined up and pairs up greatly with Giselle. She does high multiplier of the damage. Both of them are one team, to be honest. You can remove, if you want, Sylphira. You can play Little Rossi with Giselle and Morgana, and that's a team, by the way. Sylphira is not like the one to play, but the game gives you a lot of copies of her. She's so easy to access. You're gonna get her a lot. She's a basic unit in the game. It means you're gonna build her and max her out really quick. So this lineup will work completely together until you're gonna get a better unit. Maybe remove Sylphira. Sylphira late game is good, but is not top tier, okay? Just keep that in mind. My lineup right now is these units. Plus, I added something on my own. I'm gonna talk about it and show you the lineup. Now, the best other pair will be Bipolaris and Crimson. Again, one of the best pairs. So if you don't want to play these two, I highly recommend, the core units of the lineup are these three, by the way. If you don't want to use these two, you can pair these two together and play them on the same lineup. They pair together crazy. They debuff, they buff, and they go and deal massive amount of damages, and they go and do double tap attacks. So also, Giselle does double tap sometimes, which is she attacks AoE, she attacks AoE again at the same time. You have Bipolaris as well, does AoE damage, and she can do her ultimate with an AoE damage again, which is really crazy, and she does massive debuffs and curses the enemy, which will help you a lot with your lineup. Plus, you're gonna have a buff from Little Rossi, plus you're gonna stun your enemies with Little Rossi. Absolutely beautiful. Now, what I would recommend with these lineups, because the game will give you free copies of them. If you don't want to play anybody from here, you can remove them and you can add Lumina. Lumina is one of the meta units, one of the best units that plays on many lineups, not only this lineup. We're gonna see her in different lineups here, because she's also a unit that can deal damages, and she gonna deal electrification. Electrification, when they are electrified with her passive, when she's attacking them, she's gonna paralyze them, and when they get paralysis, they're gonna be stunned and they're gonna skip their turn, and you're gonna be safe. So you can play, if you want, you can remove one character here. Maybe you can remove, if you want, Sylphira in the long run, and play Lumina instead, and you have a stun with a stun, and they joint attack together, which is crazy. Or you can play the three of them, and the three of them have joint attacks with each other. So I'm gonna keep it as a meta unit. It's a little bit maybe harder to get than Sylphira for some reason in the game, but anyway, there's the same caliber, the same rarity, so you can build them up. And I think, no, Sylphira is not the same rarity. Yeah, Sylphira is not the same rarity. This is a higher rarity, so this is why it's harder to get her more than Sylphira. So this is basically the best team. These are the meta units. Another unit that is also meta, and we're gonna see it on other lineups, and in my opinion, it's the best unit in the entire game. In my opinion, as an easy access unit to build, it's super easy to get this unit, which is Carmilla. If you know Dio, if you watched Jojo, Dio Brando. So Carmilla is an absolutely a great unit, because she buffs herself with crit rate, and she gets lifesteal, and she can tank because she can go and counter as well. So she gets hit, she counters, she lifesteal, she crits them, she deals massive amount of damages, plus a single target that is crazy. Then AoE is crazy as well. A really versatile unit that can play on any lineup. So if you're missing from, you see, my assist and counter, my control, my execute, if you're missing any unit, these meta units, you can swap in any unit that I put here and put them on these teams, and you'll be solid, okay? If you're missing anybody from these chains, or for the combos or for the lineup, you can replace any meta unit here. Now, another meta unit, of course, we can't not ignore the metas without saying Sepia. Sepia is one of the craziest units in the game. She's free to play. You're gonna get one copy of her summoning on her banner, 100%. This is guaranteed, and the game gives you one for the milestone that you go. And if you're lucky, you might get another copy or 2 more copies. If you spend a little bit, maybe you can get another copy, or buy the copy with that $10 or the one with the buying the monthly. So you can get one with $10, one with the monthly, which is $5. That's $15. You can get 2 copies. You guarantee yourself a copy, and then you're gonna go and get a copy from the free one that they give you. That's a 4 copies. It means 3 stars. So you can do joint attack actually if you build another character with her, which is absolutely fine. She does true damage. She does debuffs. She does true damage. She stuns. She heals your team as well. She's a crazy unit if you max her out and build her for investment. Absolutely a great unit to be played on any lineup. Plus, she's a legend faction. It means she can go with any faction and complete your circle in the faction and will get your lineup really going on. Another unit which I love, which is the best UR character in the game. Yes, the best UR character right now in the game for damage dealing, which is Vespera. Vespera is absolutely crazy. You can play her on any lineup. Absolutely single target, big damages. Absolutely AoE damages, big damages. And she buffs herself with herself. The more that she stays alive on the lineup, the more she's a bigger threat and she can go and wipe clear the entire lineup. Absolutely a beautiful unit. Also meta, you can play her with any lineup. Now Eleanor, another unit that is a tank. She's great, she counters, she's one of the most solid units in the game. You can play her on any lineup because she takes a lot of damage and she counters almost all the time. So this is absolutely a great tank to dish damages and not just stand there and take damages, which is really beautiful. And she's absolutely beautiful. She buffed herself, her damages, resistance, her defense is absolutely amazing. So I highly recommend also to get a copy of her. Plus she's beautiful anyway. And the last entry for our meta units is Eclipsia. Now Eclipsia is a really solid unit, a good unit. So my lineup right now that I'm playing, I removed these, I put Eclipsia and Lumina, and I'm playing these lineups. So I'm playing Giselle, I'm playing Morgana, I'm playing Little Rossi, Sylphira, Eclipsia, Lumina, and my team is looking crazy. Now I have a 2-star Sepia, but I prefer to play Eclipsia with them. The joints attacks are crazy. Now, of course, sometimes if you didn't build her, if you got 1 copy, because she's harder to get more than Sepia, in the future, she's gonna be easier than Sepia. So early game, Sepia is easier to access. Late game, it's easier to get Eclipsia and to build her up. She goes well with the full Naruto arc team, which is really great. Until you're gonna build her and build Lumina, I would say remove Bipolaris and remove Crimson from the team and put them on another team, and then you're gonna have your full Naruto team, maybe with Giselle and Morgana, or maybe add somebody else. I'm building Boruto actually and another unit because I want to remove Giselle and Morgana and play them on another lineup with Bipolaris and Crimson because they go good together. And these are the best meta units. This is the best lineup. You can swap what. It does not mean that this is Bible. This is the best lineup. You need to play it. No, you can remove whoever you don't want, and you can play anybody from the meta units here, or anybody that you feel like it. But these are the meta units and more consistent, and we're seeing them in more lineups. Now, let's talk about the assist counter team, which is one of the good, solid teams that I saw, and it won the first PvP tournament in Asia. This first one. This is the first team to win the tournament in PvP, and it was solid and consistent for a long time, and there was many changes in it. I'll be talking about it and I'll be explaining some stuff. So first of all, we have Eleanor. Of course, Eleanor is a counter unit because she's a tank that will take damage and dish out a lot of damages. You can build her on block rate, I think, and you can build her on counter rate. I think there's a counter with the gems. I didn't see it myself, but this is what they told me about. It's in the paper in front of me. So this is one of the great units actually to play on an assist and counter team, which is really great. Now another unit that pairs up good with her, which is Levia. Levia is an absolute monster of a unit. Levia is a unit that will go and debuff your enemies. So if you're talking about we're doing assist, we're doing counter, it means we're chipping damages slowly, little by little. Well, how about that you have Levia, that anybody who attacks on your lineup, she attacks and she does defense down, one of the highest defense down in the game, and then you're gonna go and attack them with assist and counter, and actually it hurts. If you have them on crit rate as well and they deal crit damage and or defense penetration and you do defense down with her, it very much hurts. So this is a character that also assists. So she counters, she assists, plus she does defense down, plus she buffs herself, which is really great. Now, that's Levia and Eleanor, which you can joint attack them together because both of them are from Attack of Titan, so Levi and Aaron. Eren Yeager, so they work together. Now, another unit that you'll see here, yes, I'll be including units from up there, as you see Eren here, and now it's here. Now it's a Morgana. Morgana, absolutely a beast of a monster on assist. She assists. So if you attack with Eren, with Erena, Levia might attack and Morgana might attack, which is really crazy because they're assists. They do follow-up attacks. Now, her attacks are actually hurtful. She does defense down, and she's the one that capitalizes because she has high crit rate and high attack, and she will go and crazy eat the enemies. And she's more consistent, I would say, with her race with the assist. It means she does and dish a lot of amount of damages. Plus, she's a buff of attack unit. She buffs your team on attack. She buffs herself also on speed and buffs damage boost. She's a great buffer actually on the lineup to have. Now, of course, we can't play Morgana without playing Giselle. Giselle actually, so you see the core lineup of the best team, we removed it and put it here, and we put one of the meta units, plus we put an assist unit that works up with the meta unit. So Giselle, absolutely a great unit. She's a super buffer, by the way. She buffs like crazy, Giselle as well, and she buffs her attack, and she counters immunity, so you can't control her. So she's immune to control almost all the time because she can't be controlled, and this is with her passive. Absolutely a beautiful unit, and this is why we play her with this lineup, especially that it's a counter assist unit. It means they hit you for you to hit them, and when they hit you, you lose damage and you lose HP. So if you die, she gets more attack and she goes crazy and kills everybody else, which is really, really great. Now you're gonna tell me, but how about a unit that will heal us on this team? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Playing only a healer on a lineup, it's not like the best idea, in my opinion, in this game right now, because the most damages that you do, sometimes they deal damages 90%, and then you heal for 20 or 30%. The next damage that you will take is 90%, you're gonna die. So what unit that could heal you and save you maybe a little bit, but deals also damage and help you out with the team? None other than Jinara. Absolutely a monster of a sleeper that nobody understands right now, and they're not playing her completely right. She's a damage over time unit, absolutely beautiful, good stats. The cool thing about her, when she does her ultimate, she heals 4 of your allies with the lowest HP, and she deals damage to your enemy and continuous damage and debuff them until the end of the game, because she can debuff them every single time she attacks. Plus, when she attacks an AoE, you will assist by these two characters, and when they hit you, you can counter by this unit. Absolutely beautiful. Now, a counter team cannot be completed without another counter unit. This is why we play Carmilla. Carmilla is one of the craziest units in the game so far, and this is what I said, in my opinion, one of the best units in the games, maybe the best to play in any team, okay? Because she can sustain on her own, she has lifesteal, she can counter, and plus she can buffer herself with crit rate and attack, which is really crazy. Now, how do you play this lineup? If you want to play this lineup completely, you can play Erena as a tank, you can play in middle line Levia, and you can play Giselle. Giselle, you can't play her back line, okay? Remember, on any lineup, play Giselle in the middle lineup. Because right now in our teams, in the metas that we have, there is not too much units that attack middle liners. They attack either snipe backliners or attack the front line. And you keep her in the middle. They kill your backline, they kill your front line. She buffed like crazy and she one-shots everybody on the enemy lineup. This is how you cheese your way with Giselle, okay? Now you can play, if you want, Carmilla in the middle lineup and put Levia in the back lineup if you want, because she can survive a little bit and dish out a lot of damages and actually take down the units and help you out with Giselle taking damages or taking damages against the enemies. Now, we had a better unit actually, a better, let me put it this way. We had a better lineup worked with this, either removing Jinara or removing Carmilla. And we played, yes, you're gonna see it here, Lyra. So she's an R-rated character, rarity character. Why is she so good? Which is from My Hero Academia, Deku. Why is she that good? Okay, so she has 2 or 3 things that is good about her. First of all, she reduces the attack when she goes and counters, which is absolutely huge. So she counters as well. She's also a tank. You can play double tanks, as I said, and 2 middle liners with Carmilla and Giselle, and you can play Barkline, Morgana, and you can play Levia, which is really crazy. And if you want, you can replace any of them and you can play Ginara for more heals and more damage over time, so your team deals even more damages. But you don't need that if you have Giselle and if you have Morgana. So you can play Lyra. What does Lyra do? Attack down, plus she counters, plus she can be an absolute beast on a lineup because she gains something called full coverage, okay? And full coverage is negating one physical attack, or 40% chance to negate one physical attack from a hero. And it does not stack, I know, but it cannot be removed. So you basically gain full coverage buff on your Lyra. She goes and counters, and if any unit want to attack, and she can, if it's a physical attack, she can, with 40% chance, she can negate the full attack. So your lineup is safe here. So you keep your lineup safe, and this is a good unit, solid unit. We've seen her being replaced, or Ginara being replaced by her. We've seen some lineups that didn't build Carmilla replaced by Lyra, and these are the team. This is basically the team that won the tournament, actually without Lyra, and then came another team with Lyra and won the tournament again. So this is what you want to play. You can remove whatever you want, you can play whatever you want, be creative. I'm just giving you the teams that are being played and that they won, and they are being, until today, still being played. So this is actually the correct team that they was playing. Now let's check the control team. So first of all, we have Kaelestis. Okay, Kaelestis. So this is a tank, okay? This is a tank unit that can stun, okay? The cool thing about her that she can shield one unit, and this shield is not like, oh, that from 70% or 90% of her damage or of her defense or something. No, this is a shield that mitigates 70% of the damage taken from the attack to one target on your lineup, and she will take all the damages instead of your character that took the damage. So she gets a lot of low HP, but she get a lot of resistance, she get a lot of heal, and she can stun, okay? She doesn't only shield, she can stun. She does an AoE damage based on the damage that she took, and she can deal, actually, she distribute the damage and deals good amount of damage to the enemy, but she can stun one of them, okay? One of them only. Now, another unit, we can't play a control lineup without putting Sepia in. She's a free-to-play character that you're gonna guarantee yourself to get at least one copy of, and you can get even more and more. With more investment, of course, you're gonna unlock her maximum potential. She can heal, deals continuous damage, she can stun, deals stun your unit, she can buff your entire lineup, she deals through damage, continuous damage. If you're attacking a unit that she debuffed already, after you finish attacking it with another unit, she's gonna go and deal through damage to them, which is absolutely crazy. She can be used also on the counter team because she doesn't do follow-up, but she does a debuff that will allow them to take damages every single turn they take damage. They will take the true damage because this is the debuff that it works with her. Absolutely a beautiful unit, and so much good. And she ignores defenses. This is the best thing about her. She ignores defenses with her true damage, which is really great. Now, another unit that I will put with the control meta with them, which doesn't synergize with anybody, at least with this comp that won the tournament, which is Little Sai. Little Sai is absolutely beautiful. With her AoE, she can do a stun. She can deal stun to the enemies, which is really good. You can stun with her. Beautiful. She needs hard investment to start stunning, but if she stuns, she will render them useless for one round, at least one unit in the lineup, which is really beautiful. The cool thing about her, she has a revive mechanic, so if they kill her once, she can revive another time with a little bit of HP and go and do damages more and more. Now, the couple of stunning, which is Little Rasi and Lumina. These are both creative and great units, okay? So basically, Little Rasi, one of the best buffers in the game. She buffs the entire team, plus she can stun. Absolutely beautiful if she procs her passive, which is really huge. Now, Lumina, if she does electrification on the enemies, and if they get electrified, she can go and stun them as well, which is really good, and they are good damage dealers. So we have 1, 2, 3, or 1-2 massive damage dealers, good damage dealers here that can help you actually deal damages, and they synergize with each other, which is really beautiful. But before we talk about her, we have Scientia. Scientia also works on this lineup. Why? Because she also stuns. This unit also stuns, so she heals and stun, and she does a debuff that lets them miss their attack. So she got a chance, she has a chance to 25% chance, and it's not dispellable, that even if nobody stuns on your team, but they have this debuff on them, they go and attack you, and they have a 25% chance, I think, to miss their attack. It means if they do their ultimate, they might whiff it all and deal no damages. And she heals and sustain your entire lineup, plus she can stun, which is absolutely beautiful. A good healer for a control team. Now, she's not the best healer in the entire game, but if you keep stunning your enemies, you took damage, let's say, and then you went on with stunning your enemies, slowly she heals your lineup. Plus with Sepia's heal, you're absolutely be on full HP. This lineup was super toxic. This lineup won in NA. This is not the lineup that dominated NA, but this is the first lineup to win the NA tournaments in PvP, which was really great. Now, the unit that I want to talk about and add here, which was talked about a lot, which is Yurina. Yurina, absolutely a beautiful unit. She's not like the best unit to play, but she's an SR based character that can go to SSR, maybe to UR, which is really great. Now, the cool thing about her, so she can taunt, okay, but with her ultimate she can taunt. Plus, the cool thing about her as well is she can, with her passive, every time she gets hit, she have a high percentage or low percentage to taunt, but if you max her out, she have a high percentage at 80%, I think, to taunt the enemies. So they will go and not, even if they're at full rage, but they are taunted, they're gonna do normal attacks. With the heals that you have on your teams, with either Sepia or Scientia, you're gonna heal back Yurina again, and she's gonna keep taunting them, and you're gonna stun them, and it will be just a mess to deal with. This team was super consistent. What they did is they removed the tank with the stun and they added taunt, because the taunt is more consistent than one stun with the ultimate. So they didn't care about the ultimate from her. I would say she's the one that is not consistent, he's the one that is consistent. So basically she needs rage. You need to build her on rage. So you build her on rage and defenses. Every time she gets attacked, she fill her rage, and then she's gonna do her ultimate. When she does her ultimate, she stuns only one unit, and that's it. But with Yurina, every time she does her ultimate, if you build her and max her out to 23 stars or 22 stars, she's gonna go and taunt your enemies, depending on how much you can taunt, maybe all of them, maybe one of them. And every time she gets attacked, she has an 80% chance to taunt that unit that attacked her. So even if they get full on HP, the next round they're gonna go and attack only her. And when they attack her, they might get taunted again. So it's an endless loop with her. This is why this lineup is so toxic. A healer, damage dealer. She deals damage as well, damage dealer, and semi-damage dealers, buffers, debuffers, stunners, which is really great lineup. This lineup I would love to try. I want to build this lineup actually. This is the most troll lineup. You know I love to troll my enemies. I don't care if I win or lose. If I can make them get stunned forever and never do anything, that would be lovely. Now, the last team, which is the fan favorite, most toxic, annoying one-shot team. Now, it's a two-shot team so far. It can be one-shot depending on your build, depending on how much you build this team. It's the execute team. It's below 30%, sometimes 25%. Or Celestia, let's say, it's Kirito, but it's Celestia, it's below 25%, and the others are below 30%. We're gonna be talking about this team, and this team by far is the most toxic team, most disgusting team that I've seen in my entire life. This lineup until today has a 100% win rate, never lost a single game, within something between 1,000 to 2,000 games, okay? So I've been waiting for any team to... All of these teams lost to this team, okay? Now, it does not need RNG, it needs a very heavy whale investment, okay? So we're gonna start off by Aurora. What is Aurora? Yes, an R character, Aurora. She's maybe the most broken, busted unit in the entire game as an R character can go. Okay, I don't believe that they made a character such as her to be in the game, but okay, she needs a full max investment. You need to get her to 23 stars for her to be consistent on the percentages. So basically, she kills any unit below 30% HP if she has expose on them. So how does she give expose? First of all, with her passive. Now her passive, at least you want to build her to at least 9 stars to get a 30% chance to inflict expose. But if you get her fully built and to 20 stars, she's gonna have 80% chance to get expose. Now expose, it's a curse that you put on your enemy units, and they reduce their damage immunity by 5%, and it can stack up to 5 layers, or 5 times you can get the expose on them. But they will never reach 5 times, because if they have a single expose and they drop below 30% and she attacks with the joint attack, they are completely dead zone. Okay, so her ultimate also inflicts expose. If you max her out, it's 100% that she will inflict expose on them. Now, if she has a joint attack with Sylvia, she's gonna kill them 100%. So this is why we run Sylvia on this lineup, which is absolutely huge. Now, Sylvia is also one of the most toxic units. No, but I'm not gonna talk about Sylvia yet. Let me continue about Aurora and tell you how toxic she is. Now you're gonna tell me, but Pika, hey, how is she gonna do a joint attack? How is she gonna kill? Isn't she needing rage? And rage, like, you need 3 to 4 rounds? No, actually, she's the only unit that you might auto attack with her. Next round, you have full rage. How? Because she has something called Rage Addict, okay? She's a unit that is built on rage. Everything that she does, she attack, fill herself with rage. You attack her, you fill her up with rage. Plus, you build her on the scrolls with everything that you build her, anything that accumulate rage, okay? So how do you counter her? Actually, with denying her from rage. We tried that, still we lost, actually. We're still trying to find a team to defeat this actual lineup. So basically, she gains rage with everything, plus another unit that we will add on this lineup will also enhance her Rage Addict, and she will 100% get it, and she will gain rage again and again and again. So she's a finisher, also a good damage dealer. Her AoE damages is not the huge like damages, but it's for an R character is absolutely nice. Plus she adds also damages if they have exposed. So increase the damage by 100% if they have exposed, and they will have exposed. Okay, now Sylvia. What does Sylvia do? Sylvia is an absolute menace. I love the idea of Sylvia. Now, if you don't know who's Aurora and who's Sylvia. So Aurora basically is L from Tokyo Ghoul, the detective, and Sylvia is Light Yagami, which the one that holds the notebook or the Death Note. Okay, so Sylvia, absolutely crazy. Now, the cool thing about her, the joint attack between Aurora and Sylvia. So the joint attack is the one that allows Aurora to kill anybody below 30%. Plus it will allow her also to kill anybody through 30%. But you think that's only it? So basically the ultimate of, this is so complicated, I will explain it really quick. You need to build her on attack stats and HP stats, 0 speed. You don't give her anything that gives her speed. Now, you will give her some stuff that gives her speed, but try to give her speed less and give her only attack and HP. This is the only thing that you want. She does damage according to her HP lost, she does damage according to her attack, plus she does bleed, and her bleed triggers on her attack. So you build her on attack sets or attack buffs, and you build her on HP only. That's the only thing that you need to understand. So what does she do? She deals damage according to her attack, physical damage to all enemies, and reduces HP to 50% at the start. Now it goes up to 80% of what she got damage with. So if she lost 50% of her HP, 50% of that, which is 25%, she will remove it for her own enemies. It's not dealing damage, it's just like cutting off their HP, just removing them, just deleting their HP. It's not damage, it's just deleting their HP. But it's capped at 2.5 of her attack. This is why you build her more on attack, so it will remove everything as a 50%, which goes to 80%. I think it goes to 80%, which is really, really huge, okay? Now, a condition there. She does not depend on anybody. If her ultimate hit and they are at 30% HP, it does not matter if they have damage immunity, super defense shields, or whatever. She immediately executes them. Even if they are, like the 6 enemies are below 30%, she hits her ultimate, everybody dies on the lineup. She's so insane with her ultimate. This is why they maxed her out. I didn't understand how to play it first. When I saw her kit, I was like, this is cute, but how am I build an R and SR character? And basically they did build her, and this is the most dominating lineup in the entire team. And these 2 units are the core base units. And we're gonna talk about Celestia, but these are the 2 basic core units, Aurora and Sylvia. Now, Celestia, here we go. Kirito, if you know who's Kirito. So, Celestia is an absolute monster. How to build Celestia? Actually on crit rate, crit damage, and that's it. You don't need anything else. Anything else is you be creative, okay? She's a finisher. She's your other option when they deal damages. If they didn't kill anybody, she jumps on them and she starts killing your enemies, one-shotting them one by one. So, it's a must build her on crit rate, okay? So, you do a joint attack with Sylvia. With the joint attack, if they drop below 25% and she does crit, and this is why we build her on crit, she will always crit. She will crit them and kill them. Now, let me tell you something. You might say, 25% is too much. No, buddy. If the enemy is on 80% and you build her on crit rate, crit damage, she's gonna hit them like a truck. They're gonna go below 25%, and if they hit below 25%, she will crit. It will be a crit hit to get them from 80 to 25. If she get them to 25%, they're dead. Immediately execution. She doesn't need to hit them for the full 80%. She needs only to hit until they reach 25% and they're dead. She's absolutely crazy. She's a menace on her own. She can be a one-man lineup, absolutely. She beats so many Giselle lineups, I couldn't believe it, because Giselle is the most broken unit right now in the game. This lineup, together they synergize and kill that lineup. Now, what does she does other than that? She buffs herself with crit rate, crit damage, massively, and attack, which is crazy, until the end of the battle. And if she kills somebody with a crit rate, the other hit, you don't need crit rate anymore because it's a must crit, okay? It's a must crit the next hit, which is really crazy. So focus on crit rate to get it at least 105, 110%, maybe 120%. So if they have crit resistance, it will not be that huge, and build her on 200% crit damage, and that's it. You're golden. GG, you're gonna kill. So now you might tell me, what if they have a lot of shields, a lot of defenses buff? I got you covered, because they added another unit on this lineup that will ensure 100% for them to get defenses down at 25%, which is the biggest one so far in the game, with Ayame. Now Ayame is huge. You pair her up exactly with Celestia. You want the joint attack with Celestia, Celestia joint attack with Sylvia, Sylvia joint attack with Celestia, and Aurora joint attack with Sylvia, and Aurora another joint attack. We'll be talking about it when I get to the point. Okay, so what does Ayame do? First of all, she will ensure banishment if she's going with a joint attack with Celestia, which is huge. What is banishment? She does 3 massive debuffs that you need on your enemies. So specifically, how do you counter the execute team? With healing, of course. You heal your entire lineup. They don't drop on HP, or they don't drop below 30% and 25%. But how can you play around that? So here comes Ayame, and she does an AoE debuff with banishment. Reduce 30% of the healing provided and reduce 30% of the healing received for 2 rounds, which is crazy. It means reducing the healing for 60% in general on the lineup. Plus, she does defense down on every character for 25%, which makes the crits ignore the defenses, and you can put them on ignore defense or defense penetration as well if you want to build them on, and they will deal a lot of damages. Plus, she does revive block. So any unit that would revive, she does revive block for 4 rounds. So no healing, no revives, and defense down. Absolutely the greatest debuffer in the game right now. As for an attack, an aggressive debuffer in the entire game. Her damages are okay. She does AoE damages. She hits so much. She inflicts damages physical, first of all, to the enemies, the 3 enemies with the lowest HP. It means she's also a finisher, or try to, the most lowest HP units, she tried to get them lower. It means it opens a window for your other 3 damage dealers to eliminate the enemy. Now her passive is really, really good because she gets concealment, which will increase her dodge for 2 rounds for 30%. This one does not stack, but it can't be removed. So she will have a 30% chance to dodge an entire hit, which will make her a little bit tanky. And it went so crazy. This lineup is so consistent. Now another unit, you're gonna tell me 60%, we can work around it, we can still overheal it with massive healings on the lineup. Well, here where it comes Sepia. You add Sepia to the lineup. Now what does Sepia does? Sepia adds this a little bit of damage that you want. So basically Sepia is the most insane unit in the entire game right now, but she needs a little bit of build. Now many people, I saw them telling, oh, Sepia does not deal that much, her numbers are not that much. Well, you didn't build her. All of these units needs a little bit of investment, but so far, even in early game, even at 2 stars, 1 star, she's also helping out with damages. Now what does she do? She does a lot. She does the true damage, of course. So anybody who attacks on this lineup, if she attacks first, this is why we build her on speed and on attack the most. So attack and speed, and that's it. HP, attack, speed. So she starts the battle, she goes and deals her AoE damage, she debuffs everybody. Now if you attack with anybody on that enemy, they have the debuff that she grants them, which is, I think it's the fate. Yes, she grants them fate, or she provide this buff or debuff is fate. So every time she increases the attack, depending on how many layers of fate, she can heal your entire lineup if she gets 7 stacks or something like that. She can go and also reduce healing. This is the most important thing. She reduces healing on your enemies for 30%. So 60%, let's say in total by Akame or Ayame, and 30% by her, that's a 90% almost. So they heal with 30% less and they receive 60% less, which is absolutely insane. Almost they just receive 10% of the total amount of healing, which will make your entire lineup go crazy and deal damages, and they will never sustain. Plus the true damages that she adds. So she does true damage, she ignores defenses, she just goes and tries to kill them and destroy them as much as possible, which is really huge, and it's an AoE skill. This is why she's so good with the execute team, and this will open up for you the way to go and finish everybody else. Now, not only this that she does, when they have this debuff, anybody who attacks, after they finish their attack, they didn't kill them, let's say they didn't go below HP, because they have the debuff of Sepia, they will take a specific small amount of percentage of true damage again because they have the debuff on them. So it might also reduce their damages or reduce their HP even a little bit lower. So any AoE from her or from her could finish them off, which is really good. Now, to add more insult to injury, we're gonna add the highest multiplier damage dealer that takes damage to herself. The more that she takes damage, the more that she does damage to the enemies, which is Kayalistis. This is your tank, okay? This is the 6, and she works also with Aurora. You're gonna go and do the joint attack with her and Aurora. Why with Aurora? Because Aurora will get the Rage Addict when she does her ultimate. So when she does her ultimate, she's gonna do a joint attack and immediately 100% get the Rage Addict. It means she's gonna get herself more rage. She's gonna put expose on everybody. Now everybody are getting exposed. If they go below 30%, oh boy, you're dead, so. Okay, so this is what she does. She gives a massive shield to somebody and they take an attack. She takes 70% of the hit. It means she drops below low on HP. And we have a healer here, but we don't care about the heals. When she drops low on HP and does her ultimate, you build her on rage and on defense, or on rage on HP. The more that she took damage, she's gonna go and do a bigger ultimate and deals more damage, and it's distributed equally on your enemy lineup. So everybody will drop low on HP, or she's gonna damage everybody. And this is what you want. Damage over damage over damage to go and finish them off with these 3 characters, which is absolutely beautiful. And this lineup is super consistent, unbelievable. You can't find any other unit. These, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unit, all of them synergize with each other. There is no other unit in the entire game that will come and add another joint attack with anybody else with them. So these 5 units are built to be together, and you can play Sepia because she's legendary, or she's from a legend faction. Of course, if you get Sanguina, the SP character, she's also legend. If you want to play her, you can play Erin, you can play Vespera, you can play Eclipsia, whoever you want. You can play, if you want Cronus, if you got Cronus, if whatever you want to get. If you have these characters, you can play them. You can play any of the meta characters also on this lineup instead of Sepia, but Sepia works so good with them, especially for the reduction of healings, so they can't counter you at all. And she ignores defenses, and she ignores also the shields, which also she ignores the shields and kills through them, which is an absolute complete perfect lineup. This is the lineup that is dominating, didn't die at all, didn't lose at all, and this is what the dominating NA. Big shout out to Jamal. Jamal is the one that created this almost when the game started, or something in the beta, and then we continued, or something like in the beta. I was thinking about it, and when the game released, he went and wailed and just won, and everybody are trying to copy his team, but he's the first one to do it, and he's playing maneuvers, and he built his gems, and he built his enchantments and his scrolls completely for this lineup. Absolutely a huge team. Works in PvE as well, but it's more towards PvP, but an absolute beautiful team. I didn't think that it would go that hard with R-rated characters. 2 R-rated characters, 1 SR rated character, 1 SSR plus, 1 SR, okay, so 2 SR characters, 2 R characters, 1 SSR plus, and 1 UR character, no SP, and he's destroying lineups with this. And this was it for the best lineups, the best teams, the meta teams. I hope this helped you. I just want to give you an open window to what we have in the game right now and how we're playing this game. Of course, different characters will come in the future. This all will change. This means nothing at all. And let me know if you're playing similar lineups, if you also thought about this before you watch it. And I'll be seeing you in the next one.